Hey, friendo, Steve here.
And Larson.
And welcome back to Going In Raw, the only pro wrestling podcast you need to be listening to right here at youtube.com/Steve and Larson. Available wherever podcasts can be found, and of course, taped live at the twitch.tv/Steve and Larson. On today's show, we're going to be talking about Monday Night Raw, what seems to be the end of RKBro, WWE continuing to put Sasha and Naomi on blast, and some changes made to the upcoming Hell in a Cell. We're also going to talk about a certain Hulkamaniac. Well, there's really only one. I mean, it's just Hulk Hogan.
Yes, Hulk
making
Hogan.
his in-ring return, possibly. And of course, this weekend, AEW's Double or Nothing. We're going to be watching live with the Enforcer, with all the friendos over at twitch.tv/Steve and Larson. They only do 4 of these pay-per-views a year. I mean, I know
do 5 this year because
Forbidden Door.
That's,
that's a joint production right there. But like proper AEW pay-per-views right now,
sure, fair enough.
Only 4 of them. I mean, all the stories of Forbidden Door are going to be like joint productions. All these politicking backstage. It's not going to be on Tony Khan's legal pad, man. It's not going to be during a game.
I'm sure his ideas will be on legal pad, but then he has to confer, with the the people from New Japan,
the New Japan Brain Trust
agreement, and I'm sure he's next to that on his legal pad. He'll make any amendments as necessary.
Oh yeah, and it goes
it's
back
all
and forth, back and forth.
Nah,
man, I want that pure, unfiltered Tony Khan storytelling, man. I'm talking about the genius of the TNT title, etc., etc. You think he wrote down Sledgehammer on his legal pad there?
I'm telling you, Mad Libs. That's what we did.
That's right, Mad Libs. Boy, that was a funny
Mad
bit.
Libs.
That was a funny bit yesterday. So yeah, later on today, we're also going to have our bonus episode of Going In Raw. It's called Overrun. It's available to $5 and up patrons over at patreon.com/Steve and Larson. Of course, if you're a Twitch sub or a YouTube channel member, you can also get access to that episode live. We're going to be talking about some Double or Nothing. There's some interesting. I polled my WrestleJuice audience last night. Said, who's going to win this Punk Hangman thing? And I think right now Hangman's up like 51-49. There's a lot of compelling arguments on both sides, and so I figured today on Overrun, maybe we can talk that out a little bit.
Sounds good.
Get some pros and cons of a title change at AEW in the main event scene there.
Sure, sounds good.
But first, talk about main event scene, the biggest main event scene in the history of life. Hulk Hogan, brother. Is he going to be making a return to the ring to face Ric Flair? Are we going to have damn near 200 years of life in that singles match? Larson, what's going on?
I certainly hope not. But during a recent interview with Wrestling Shoot Interviews, Brian Blair seemingly accidentally leaked who could be facing Ric Flair for his comeback match happening over SummerSlam weekend. And it's unprompted. Blair seemingly said at one point, quote, "I'm looking forward to seeing Flair and Hogan at SummerSlam." He was then asked about someone of Flair's age stepping into the ring, and this is what Brian Blair had to say, quote, "Well, I think if Rick were going to die anywhere, he'd want to die in the ring. Terry's had his fair share of surgeries, way too many, and I'm getting ready to call Terry in a couple minutes. I just wish them the very best. I know the fans are the ones that have been really egging it on, that really want to see it. So it sparked them. All I could say is it will be interesting. I just pray that they both come out in one piece." So then the interviewer was like, "Oh, hold on. Did you just say that Hogan's going to be Flair's opponent?" Asked him to confirm. And then Blair starts backtracking. Says, "Oh, I don't know that for sure. It's a rumor I read on the internet." And says, I got to call Terry here in a few minutes to confirm with him that it's not Terry, of course, Hulk Hogan's real name. Terry Bollea.
This was this video is hilarious.
Yes.
In watching somebody just completely,
what someone needs to do is get that Curb Your Enthusiasm music in there after the interviewer says, man. Hold on. Yeah. When Brian Blair is there.
Well, the great thing is the interviewer, he says, wait
I read
a
on the
second,
internet.
because he's a British fella. And he says, wait a second. I didn't mention the name Hulk Hogan. Can you, and this dude knows he just got a scoop. Wrestling Shoot Interviews just got a scoop. He's like, can you confirm that Hulk Hogan's going to be the opponent? The mystery opponent. That's a big mystery opponent right there.
Massive.
That's like the biggest mystery opponent possible. And then you see the look on Blair's face, and it's just like you can feel like when the heart just drops.
You can hear.
Yeah, you can totally hear it. And he's like,
you can totally hear that.
No, that's just what I've heard. Even though he was talking in the definitive prior to that moment. And the guy says, but where did you hear it? Internet.
Google it.
Google it. And then what did you say when we went about to go live? You said
if you Google it, the only search you get is him saying it's going to happen.
So this is the, hold on a second before you make your whatever point you're about to make. This is the troubling part of this first quote here. He says, well, I think if Rick were going to die anywhere, he'd want to die in the ring. That's fine. Find a ring somewhere in private where nobody's around watching you, because I don't want to see that. The interviewer points out correctly, Flair has a pacemaker.
Yep.
Oh.
Yep. 73 years old, pacemaker. And Hogan, he's had a ton of surgery. As far as I'm aware, his back is completely shot.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's been a while since I've seen any video of him trying to get around. Last I knew, he's not getting around well. Like painful to watch walk.
Mm-hmm.
Is he better now? I don't know. I don't really want to see him in the ring. I don't really want to see Flair in the ring at this point. Whatever minimal interest I may have had in this is basically gone.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure, if what we heard as far as Flair team with FTR against Rock and Roll Express, and I guess Hogan, FTR and Rock and Roll Express are going to be carrying 95% of this match. I understand that.
Mm-hmm.
I still don't really want to see Flair in there taking bumps and feeding for Hogan while Hogan is hitting him with a couple punches. Just don't want to see it.
I don't want to see that. Karen here is in our chat, and she has so messed up the way she puts it. She said that's like having a self-destruct button in the chop zone. That's so grim, Karen, but that's totally true. Oh, God. Oh, my God. Yeah, and Forsher's got it right. This doesn't work for me, brother. Ooh.
No, does not work. No.
Eesh. Man, oh, man. Yeah, I don't know. You think Hogan's going to go over in this one? I mean, he still has a career ahead of him, so he could benefit from this.
That's the issue, because you think Flair, they're billing this as his last match ever.
You got to go out on your back, man.
Dub.
Nah, man, you got to go out on your back.
But here's
put over a young talent, Larson.
Let me finish, damn it. Here's the thing. If Hogan's in this match, I don't think he's physically capable of taking a bump.
I don't think he's physically capable of delivering his one move, the leg drop.
No, he can't do that either.
Yeah, I don't think he can
put on a sleeper or something like that.
Catch can. Hey,
I doubt he can. I'd wonder if he could even lift his leg up to do a boot. Probably not.
Some of that stuff he used to do in Japan when he was like doing some catch can stuff.
He said like the original finisher he wanted was the sleeper because he's got the largest arms in the world.
Yeah, dude.
Not the leg drop. So I guess he could do that. Nonetheless, I don't want to.
I mean, yeah, I got to get my pearls out to clutch them, because that's what I'll be like the entire time. Like there's sort of an element of, it's people are going to be talking about it. It's going to be very buzzworthy, and we're going to have to talk about it on the show. So like, I don't really want to watch it. I don't want it to happen, but like I'll watch it, but I'll just be worried the entire time. I guess the thing is the expectation, the bar set at this point is, if both these men make it to the final bell alive, it's a win for everybody.
It's a win. I understand that. But it's
therein lies the drama.
You're going to get 90% of this match is going to be FTR versus Rock and Roll Express, and that'll be good.
Yeah,
that'll be good stuff.
That'll be awesome.
And then Hogan and Flair would probably just come in for the finish.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It should be a one-on-one match.
Oh God.
Let's talk about something else that's dead. Maybe not. RKBro. So last night on Raw, kicked off with some words from Matt Riddle, who got in the ring very emotional in this promo. I thought this promo
felt fairly genuine.
Felt very genuine. This promo I thought was really good work. I think they've really prepped him to go on a singles run and add a little bit more dimension. Remember when he would just like linger backstage and talk endlessly? They were doing the cartoonish stoner stick. They dialed that down. They brought a little dimension to the guy. He's still obviously a super stoner guy, but what we saw last night was a fair bit amount of dimension to him. And he talked about, not a lot of people know this. Randy Orton's been dealing with some really nasty back problems as of late. Over the past couple months, it's been really difficult for him. We've had an awesome time as RKBro, but he's done commentary. He was putting way over the top, saying this might be the last we ever see of Orton. We know that's not the truth. That's not the truth.
Yeah.
But it does seem like RKBro, the most over act in WWE, is done, at least for now. It seems that I would think Orton would probably be gone. So if the report is true that he's set to take Roman Reigns on at SummerSlam, which storyline wise would make some amount of sense,
it's 2 months from now.
It's 2 months from now. I could see him being out for a little while. Let Riddle do his solo run, take on Roman Reigns at Money in the Bank, and then Orton comes back. I don't know. I mean, I know that Orton he's been wrestling for 20 years now, on main roster. So obviously, his body, as much as he wants to try to take care of it, he has a bust and all that kind of stuff. He's in phenomenal shape. That's going to take its toll. So there's probably an element of truth to this, but I fully expect him to be back. But it is kind of interesting that they seem to have put, in terms of RK-Bro as a unit, going after tag titles again, like you and I had speculated was possible down the road. Maybe down the road, but seemingly not factored into the plans anytime soon.
No, because it seems like with Riddle and the Street Profits beating Sami Zayn and the Usos last night on Raw, you'd think Street Profits would be next in line to get a shot at those unified tag titles. But, when we were talking about the timeline that was laid out potentially for Roman's title defenses through the summer, I think we were talking about it on yesterday's show, where you got Riddle coming up next. Obviously, he pretty much says, I'm not going to rest until I get my revenge against the Bloodline. And then after he loses to Roman, Orton comes back. He tries to get his pound of flesh, loses. And then maybe it's at that point they realize, we can't do anything about this individually. We need each other,
That could be.
to get what we want, to get our vengeance. They team back up to beat the Usos at Clash of the Castle. They win the unified tag titles for a stretch, and then who knows what after that. I mean, that's possible. It could happen. Jonathan, I thought about this too, has a point here. It says Randy comes back and turns on Riddle, saying his back problems were from carrying RK-Bro. I don't know if Randy has legit back issues or not, but by mentioning, in kayfabe at least, that Orton has a bad back for a large stretch of RK-Bro's existence, it's been the matches fall at a really regular pattern. Riddle gets isolated. Orton comes in, gets the hot tag, leads to win. For the longest time. That's changed a little bit. But if they want him to, Orton to sit out for a bit, come in and says, my back really hurt from carrying you. I don't want to see that happen yet, because I think there's more story to be told here. But if they want to, that's like a little clue as to something they could pursue in the future, perhaps.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, they could totally do that. With WWE, it's like, well, you and I would love to think that they're going to have some sort of actual story. They feel things out in the moment, see how it goes. And I think right now they're probably going to feel out this Riddle solo program with Roman. I thought the last night's promo was really good. Him ending it with, if it takes me till the end of my career, I'm going to get my vengeance on these guys. I thought that was a really strong line. I think they're probably going to focus on that. I think Orton will do, Orton seems to legitimately really enjoy Matt Riddle and likes Matt Riddle. He's called him recently, I think, a future world champion. And I think Orton's going to say, hey, whatever you guys need from me to get this guy to the next level, I'll do. If that's teaming with him, if that's feuding against him, totally. Then I'm sure Randy Orton will be down to do that, and they'll just tell whatever story they feel is best in the moment. But it is kind of interesting that this wasn't Randy's going to be back. We're going to get right back at the Usos. No, this is done for now, and it seems like Riddle's clear path to Roman at Money in the Bank is right there in front of us now.
Yeah, seemingly. Let's move on to this. So I believe it was it during the Alexa Nikki ASH match? Yes, Corey Graves, of course. Corey Graves is the one to bring up Sasha and Naomi walking out last week, and once again claimed that they, quote, disappointed the WWE universe. man, I don't know. They continually put the spotlight on this by, again, show after show, week after week. Although, it's only been a week, but show after show, taking time out of the show to discredit and blast Sasha and Naomi.
Yeah.
It's not enough seemingly to issue the statement. It's not enough to have Michael Cole blast them on SmackDown, say they've been suspended. I mean, how long is this going to continue? Are they really going to keep mentioning this until they crown new tag champions? Are they going to continually remind us why we're having this tournament and use that as a reason to talk more trash about Sasha and Naomi?
I mean, the thing is, because it's the thing that initiated the new tag champions, that's a possibility. That's a distinct possibility. I don't know. I'd like to think that, okay, they had to explain it on SmackDown. For the people who don't watch SmackDown, for whatever reason, they got to explain it on Raw as well. And then maybe they can just move on from there. But I don't know. Like, Vince, he'll hold a grudge. I don't know. Like, it doesn't benefit anybody. And maybe they think, hey, it's controversy, and the more we reference it, the more people will be buzzing about it. I could see them believing that that's the case as well. Doesn't change anything. There's still a lot unknown about this situation. Sasha and Naomi, will they be coming back? I mean, there's reports on the internet, as Brian Blair says, that are both, credible and non-credible alike, saying that this is not going to be resolved anytime soon. There's reports saying that there's no creative for their return. Nobody expects that to happen. Management's not happy about this, and they're still feeling burned by it.
Yeah, let's talk about this real quick because Jorge D brings it up. The listicle from USA Network about the WWE walkouts. Again, just calling attention to it more and more and more.
Well, the weird thing is, this is obviously, look, man, whatever poor sap has to work digital at usanetwork.com, which I would just think that would be a portal to like, oh, what streaming device do you want to watch USA on?
I know.
Like, it's an actual website that they have info and shit.
So.
I did not go there. I just saw it and I was like, well, that's silly. But here's the thing. If you're working digital, if you're working like content if you're producing content at usanetwork.com, I mean, yeah, this just looks like latest full episodes. Where would this be? Under the USA Insider?
Maybe.
I'm on the thing, and it's all literally content that you can click on. That's like, it's just actual, like, here, I can watch Hitch. I can watch The Wedding Planner. I could watch New Amsterdam. Oh, Young Rock is here.
So there is some WWE content on Insider.
Okay.
For example, WWE's most iconic hairstyle.
There it is. Cody Rhodes, obsessed Seth Rollins, crashes his match with The Miz, whips him. Okay, so there's a news item from that. Oh, here we go. WWE's most iconic hairstyles. Editor's picks.
If you scroll down, it's the most famous WWE walkouts of all time.
Oh, this is a Wrestle Juice video waiting to happen right here. Yeah. So here's the thing. So let's see. Who wrote this one? This is the hair one. This is by Benjamin Bullard. What a great name. So Benjamin here has a job. And that's get clicks for USA Network's USA Insider. And so he's like, I don't know. These people, they walked out. Most biggest walkouts. He probably saw a Cultaholic video and was like,
maybe.
Oh, okay. Stone Cold Scott Austin. Okay, good. So yeah, I know, but it's funny because you see this and it's like, does that mean it's work? Or just
I don't see that and necessarily think it's work. I'm like,
no,
why are they piling on?
On Twitter, plenty of the replies do.
I know. It seems like they're piling on at this point.
Several of our YouTube comments. This is work, brother.
Yeah, I know.
Get out of here with that. Everything's a work, man. But yeah, I don't know. It's funny. I know. I know. It's like, why draw more attention to it? But this is Benjamin Bullard at usanetwork.com who's got a job, and it has nothing to do with WWE. Like, in terms of his position in WWE,
I understand aspect of it, but I'm curious, to go back in time and see if USA Network has addressed anything comparable.
Was Mr. Bullard working there at the time?
I don't know, but they have a bunch of. I'm going back at least, I don't know, a week ago and see what they have.
Yeah.
Who was in the NWO?
I know that. Hulk Hogan, Scott Hall, Kevin Nash.
John
Big
Cena's
Show.
best performances on screen and in the ring.
Oh man, they're mixing those up. Interesting. But yeah, it
So
gets
there's
a lot.
like a mix of editorializing and then recaps.
I mean, it gets a lot of clicks. It probably did a lot of clicks for TMZ. You know, it's real life drama at a fictional, wrestling program. So I get it. And on top of that, like I said, it wouldn't shock me if WWE just realized, hey, you know what? It helps our buzzworthiness. It helps our trends to talk about this stuff. So we're gonna keep referencing it.
2 weeks ago, WWE Universal Champion Roman Reigns 7 harshest takedowns.
Is put that beef way in there?
Oh, let's see. That's a good one.
Verbal takedowns or like actual takedowns?
I would assume. Oh no, these are just spears. Superman punching, spearing people.
Oh, wow.
Spearing Sheamus.
What's number one?
That's
hey,
weird.
number one's got to be when he did it to Vince back in 2014.
No, number one here is spearing Rey Mysterio, Survivor Series 2013. Here's number 4, cleaning up The Rock's mess at Royal Rumble 2015.
What?
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I was like, that doesn't make. Wait, Rock, that's the other way around? Like, they brought Rock out there to raise Roman's hand.
Yeah.
That's the one that I'm thinking of, right? When they both looked confused after Roman won. Wasn't that 2015?
Yeah, that was it.
That's weird. Yeah, that doesn't make any sense.
That's weird. Is my memory that bad, or The Rock didn't come out until Roman already won?
He won, and then Rock came out to raise his
so
hand.
The way they're framing this in this listicle is that The Rock came out before Roman won.
Bro, this is amazing. We got to do a Friendo Club TV video on this, man. This is great. They're rewriting history. This is like Wrestling News Now.
Wow,
this is amazing.
That's
hell yeah. Else. Who wrote that one? Was it Mr. Bullard?
I already closed it.
Benjamin Bullard. Revisionist.
This is from
WWE Revisionist.
Oh yeah, it is Benjamin Bullard.
Yes. Get that man on the line. Let's talk to Ben. Hey, Benjamin, no different than me and Larson back in the day, writing those 10 for the Win episodes, not knowing a damn thing of video games.
Yep.
Becky Lynch has also been added to the Hell in a Cell women's title bout for the Raw Women's Championship with a botched finish that saw Asuka seemingly supposed to be counted out, but then she rolls into the ring and Becky Lynch just sort of pins her. But it's not like even a roll up or anything. She just sort of pinned her, and Asuka was like,
a very underwhelming situation. I
what?
know.
Okay, I lost.
Well, they're outside of the ring. Asuka hits a shot on Becky, so Bianca's sitting ringside to watch the match. So Asuka hits the shot on Becky. Becky falls and pretty much lands on Bianca's lap.
Mm-hmm.
And so Asuka tries to kick Becky. Becky moves. Asuka ends up kicking Bianca instead.
Yeah.
And so the from that point onward, it felt weird because I think at one point Becky was supposed to throw Asuka into the announce table.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
And it seems like Asuka lost her footing.
Mm-hmm.
And so Becky just kicked her in the back.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
It gets back in the ring. Asuka gets back in to beat the 10 count. And it was just like the most pedestrian looking roll up possible or pinning combination possible to get the win.
Yeah, it was weird. VNM here says no, he did come out before Roman won.
Oh, really?
Did he just hover on the ramp? We'll have to go back and watch that, man.
We'll have to go back
and
watch
it. This is Mandela effect stuff right here.
My memory is terrible.
Honestly, like if we put Mandela effect, wrestling Mandela effect. Oh, there's some Friendo Club TV shit right there, man. Hit up the Friendos, be like, hey, Mandela effect, what do you guys got? That's a
it says right here, The Rock comes to Roman Reigns' aid. This is a WB video. Was it a beatdown after the...
But did he come out before it was won or not? Because that's weird if he did. Maybe there is a big, I don't know. Maybe people were trying to interfere at the end of that one?
That could be.
Well, don't look at it now. I want to do that together for a video because that sounds fun.
Okay. So...
You're just doing it anyways.
I am doing it because now I want to know. So actually they were right in the article. He did come out before.
Oh, no. Benjamin Bullard, fact checker.
He did.
Apologies, Bullard.
I mean, yes, apologies, Benjamin Bullard. To my credit, that was 7 years ago. That's a long time.
To your credit, you mean in your defense?
However you want to put it.
To my credit. To my credit in getting it wrong.
Yes.
Oh, man. Anyways, let's dive into this Raw cap, Larson.
Sure. Let's see what we can get wrong during this Raw cap.
Raw cap.
Raw cap.
Remember that?
That's old. You're taking it back to like
to 2015, man.
Yeah,
While we're there.
It would be before 2015.
Oh, it was Trio Woe days, huh?
Yeah, it was. So, yeah, as we mentioned earlier, Riddle, as far as my memory is telling me, Riddle opened the show with a promo and says, "I'm out here with the heavy heart." And he's saying, "Randy is my best friend, my mentor, my dude, my bro. And to be honest, the last couple of years have been tough on him. And the last couple of months, he's been having a hard time because of his back. He could barely walk before the unification bout on Friday." He says, "But I knew Randy wouldn't let me down because he knew how much this meant to me. And he knew how much this meant to all of you, the WWE Universe." So they lost to the Usos. No, don't get me wrong. The Usos are one hell of a team, and hats off to them. But for them to win that way, for Roman to get involved the way he did, that makes him nothing but a tribal piece of trash. Mm-hmm. He says, "I assure you, I'll get my vengeance on Roman, Jimmy, Jay, and anybody else associated with the bloodline." He says, "I know Randy's done a lot for me. I love him. I appreciate him. But to be honest, I don't know what the future holds for RKBro. Says, I don't know if they'll ever be a thing again, but I know Randy is home watching, and I think WWE Universe can help me with one thing." He tells all the fans to stand up and chant RKBro. And the whole time, Riddle seems like legit emotional.
Cheers, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I thought it was pretty great. That led to our first match of the night. I like this because the whole segment took like 45 minutes between.
Yeah, it was a long segment. Yeah.
And then the match itself. We had Riddle and the Street Profits versus the Usos and Sami Zayn. Number one, I love Sami Zayn. I love him. Yeah. I love everything about the dude. His charity work, his awesome work on camera, him dancing to the Usos music was everything. It was beautiful. So they all come out together, and yeah, basically. So the Usos have a promo also from Gorilla Position saying, we might get cheered, we might get booed. Little kids might be crying. Grown men out there crying, but they still might be hating on us because we did what we said we were going to do, because we ended RK-Bro, or because we became the best tag team in the world. So during their entrance, Riddle goes after them. And it's 1-on-3, and the Street Profits are like, oh shit, we probably should engage also. So they go out there, refs are out to break it up. And really fun match. It's a pretty lengthy match. And it ends with the Usos just being like, yeah, we're out of here. Sorry, Sammy. We're just leaving now, which is great. And I hope they don't stop this alliance with this one-sided alliance where Sami Zayn desperately wants in the bloodline to get his respect back. And they just use him. They're like, yeah, you can hang out with us. I just want at least one full bloodline entrance with Sami Zayn.
I know.
Wearing the shirt.
Putting up the one.
Did you see? Oh my God. I meant to send it to you. So, that old picture, that old high school picture of Roman and the Usos? It's like an old glamour shot.
Oh, someone put Sammy in there. Yeah.
Oh my God. I was cracking up. I saw that this morning. That was so good. That dude had the most unfortunate haircut mustache combo.
Yeah.
Oh, it was amazing.
It was pretty funny.
Was great stuff. So yeah, anyways, the Usos leave.
Yeah. Riddle hits an RKO on Sammy for the win.
Yeah, exactly.
Then we got a Bobby Lashley promo. He talked about surviving the steel cage match against Moss. Says, but tonight is the almighty challenge. So he says, I'm sure MVP and Amos would like to know more about it, so come on out. So they do. They come to the stage. MVP says, I don't know why you think we're just a couple of dogs who come running when you call. Oh, I know why. Because you think you're the Top Gun. Remember, MVP, is Maverick. Says the whole world saw Amos beat Lashley all over the cage and working for some faulty equipment. They'd be having a different conversation. Says, that's why I filed a complaint. And Lashley says, shut up. So you can hear the stipulation. He says, I know that a regular match won't be enough to settle what they have. He wants a match tonight, and the winner picks the stipulation at Hell in the Cell. And MVP says, you barely survived the last time you faced Amos. And Lashley says, hush. He says, I've got Amos at Hell in the Cell. But tonight I have unfinished business. with you, MVP. So my challenge is as follows. We have match tonight, winner pick stipulation for Hell in a Cell. The first MVP's all, he's like, all right, sure. I made you. I'm responsible for your ascension. So it's only fitting I'm responsible for your downfall. And after I beat your ass tonight, I'll pick a stipulation that even the Almighty can't overcome.
And then Lashley asks, he says, when's the last time you even won a match? He says, you made me, I made you. And at Hell in a Cell, I'm going to tear Amos apart, and tonight I'm going to put you in the Hurt Lock. And then MVP whispers something to Amos. They walk towards the ring. Amos walks around the ring, and MVP gets on the apron, and Lashley punches him off. So they have a match later. This entire thing, though, it's not fitting for Lashley. Like I mentioned this during the pre-show. This should just be about pure and utter destruction, man.
Yep.
This should be Roman Reigns, Braun Strowman 2017. That was entertaining shit because it was two monsters destroying things. And that's what I think this should be. And they're adding too much talking to it. When Lashley is unscripted and in short amounts, he's very genuine. He's very charming.
Yeah.
When he is asked to go out there and recite 5 minutes of dialogue, doesn't work. He's obviously not comfortable doing it. It's not his strong suit. He can bring a lot to the table. Same thing with Brock Lesnar. You can give him 5 minutes of scripted dialogue as Brock Lesnar, so he ain't going to read it. But you put Brock Lesnar out there for 5 minutes on the mic. Oh, yeah. Brock found his strength with promos during this last run as a babyface, and it worked because it wasn't 5 minute long scripted dialogue.
Yep.
When he would come out and do that, he'd always improvise and it'd feel a little bit awkward.
Yeah.
But Lashley, I feel like he's probably professional. He's like, I'm not going to improvise. I'm going to go out there and do my job. And it just doesn't really work. Some people can do that, and he's not one of them. This stuff is overly gimmicky. And on top of that, why is MVP referencing Top Gun and Maverick if this is not a real integration? And why don't they get a real integration? Because I think that'd be awesome. It would be awesome,
but also it's just MVP being topical.
Yeah, but this is the great. Remember how they did that zombie integration?
Yeah.
I want to see it like one of Lashley's challenges be like, hey, we're going to fly some fighter jets now.
Oh, you want Kenny Loggins out there in live performance danger zone.
Yes, man.
That's what you want?
Absolutely. 100%. That'd be sick. But they do the goofy thing where they're just passengers in a fighter jet and they're like out of character because they're all freaked out. Because I'd be freaked out if I was in a fighter jet.
Yeah, I would be too. You're doing all sorts of crazy turns and it's like 0G situation. You're vomiting all over the place because I think that's what happens. You're not used to it.
You know, Tom Cruise flew his own fighter jet and all those stunts up there.
I don't believe that for a second.
Probably not actually true.
No, I know he does a lot of his own stunts. I think they draw the line on him actually flying a plane.
He's not going to be in the actual danger zone, really?
There's a limit to that, Steve. Let's talk about this. They announced Crown Royal is coming back, Steve.
Woo! Another charity
November
stream for
5th.
us. Another charity stream for us.
Yes.
That's cool. That's fine.
I like those. November 5th.
I kind of dig those morning ones, man. Because I get donuts. Might get some. Are we gonna get some? Can we get some McGriddles for that?
The 5th. That's a Saturday, so Saturday morning.
That sounds lovely.
Yeah, we can get some McGriddles.
Some coffee, some old-fashioned chocolate donuts, some McGriddles. Enforcer's down for that, I'm sure.
Heck yeah, that'd be fun.
Yeah, that'd be rad.
Then after that announcement, we have Dana Brooke. She's talking to Adam Pearce backstage, saying, once Carmella is cleared to wrestle, I want her in the ring. Becky with a puffy shirt, seemingly. I wouldn't be surprised if this is the case. Becky Lynch is a Seinfeld fan.
Oh, absolutely.
She walks in, bumps into Dana, tells Adam Pearce, hey, we need to talk. Last week, Asuka cheated. Said the mist everywhere. Still isn't coming out of my hair. And if you took your job seriously, you'd strike that finish from the record books and give me the title match at Hell in a Cell. And Adam Pearce says, no, the fair thing to do is to give you a rematch against Asuka tonight. And if you win, then you get put the title match. It'll be a triple threat.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And then she says, I don't want to be a pirate.
I don't want to be a pirate.
I don't want to be a pirate. After that, oh, man, it's our obligatory Judgment Day promo time, Larson. So first
Edge is the worst recruiter. He is. I hear this shit and I'm like, I want nothing to do with it.
Yeah, this doesn't sound like a cool faction to be in.
It's the same thing every week.
Yeah.
Hey, we make you better.
Yeah.
How? I've seen Damian Priest in this faction since he joined. He's been taking L's.
Yeah, nothing but L's, man. He's been eating them up like I'm eating an old-fashioned donut on November 15th.
So
November. That's November 5th. Yeah, or November 5th.
November 5th.
That's a long ways from now.
About 5.5 months. Yeah.
Yeah, that's like almost half a year. Yep, 3, 4, 5.
5 months. Yeah,
almost 5.5. Yeah, 2 weeks.
If my memory is right, which usually isn't, that's correct.
Credit to you.
Credit to me. I remember how many months are in a year.
Oh lordy me. So anyways, Damian Priest talks a lot, says if you guys suck, and then Rhea says you need to stop
join because like I made a good decision, so if you join too, you can do what I did, be better.
Well, this time Rhea says don't listen to Twitter. And then Edge, who by the way got some product for his hair. Did you notice that? It was
much flatter.
He got some
I almost
Dapper
thought
Dan.
he cut it short on top, like to match the length of the rest of the hair at first.
Yeah, I thought that too, but then I realized it was just some Dippity Doo or some Dapper Dan or Fop. I don't know. He seems like a Dapper Dan man. Anyways, so yeah, this guy. Oh, you think he's a Fop guy?
Could be.
Okay. So he talks a lot. It mentions Tom Brady, Gretzky, or Jordan. It's just, I don't care.
Oh my gosh. So Nikal says actually time this stuff from Judgment Day's entrance to Liv's entrance, including the ad break, the graphics, the backstage promos, and the in-ring promos. So I believe they made their entrance before the Dana Brooks segment, if memory serves.
Yeah, and then there was like a lengthy video package of like Becky and Asuka stuff.
Yeah. 16 minutes, 10 seconds.
Yeah.
So they're standing out there in the ring doing something for 16 minutes and 10 seconds. That's way too much.
Edis here in chat says, don't want Fop. God damn it. I'm a Dapper Dan man. Go watch Oh Brother Where Art Thou. It's a brilliant movie.
Great movie. So anyways, Edge is pretty much again saying, hey, come join us. He's doing some more recruiting. Sit under my learning tree. Who will be the next member? Will it be Ciampa, Corey Graves, Alexa Bliss, Drew McIntyre, Liv Morgan, Finn Balor? What about AJ Styles? And this makes a more pointed pitch to AJ. Says it's your choice. Choose wisely.
So this might be a silly question, product of me not paying attention. So,
well, to your credit,
my credit, where's Finn Balor? Was he mentioned?
He was by Edge.
Right. But like at the end of this, I was like, oh, Finn's going to make the save.
No, he didn't make the save.
Looking at my watch, I'm like, why are they not even mentioning, like, where's Finn?
You know, to his credit, he probably had the day off.
To his credit, he didn't feel like coming out. He was like, I'm not fighting these dorks again. After that, we had Liv Morgan and AJ Styles versus the Judgment Day. Let's see here. Rhea. So yeah, Edge helps out a couple times here. We get a distraction. We're so old. We get a distraction.
It's one of those days I feel so old.
No, it's awesome. I'm looking forward to get my N1 ball today, man. That's coming in the mail today.
Man, I shot around with that yesterday.
How's the grip on it?
It was good at first.
At first, it was an N1 ball. Did it wear off really quickly?
I didn't feel like it wore off. Just, you know, when
was
when
it like painted on the grip?
No. You know, when basketball gets dirty.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
You know, you get it brand new. The grip's really good. The ones that get some dirt and dust and stuff on it, it's just not. The grip's just not as good. That's all it was. It was bad.
So Liv tries to get her finish, but Edge grabs Rhea's belt so that Liv just ends up bumping on the mat, and then Rhea covers her because of that to get the win.
It was kind of a weak finish. At least like hit a kick or riptide or something.
Yeah, it was sort of a night of weak finishes, to be honest with you.
It really was.
So Edge gets in the ring, laughs at Liv. AJ comes in, decks Edge. Priest helps Edge turn the tables on AJ, and then they both hit their leg sweep spear combo on AJ. Rhea hits Liv with a riptide. No Finn Balor.
No.
Like, hey, where are you at, man? I thought we were too sweet. I thought we were for life. You thought wrong. I'm not fighting those dorks. I'm moving on.
Could be. Then we get a Miz interview. He's got a match against Cody later. He says, much like Seth, I'm sick of Cody Rhodes because in life there is one thing I know: never trust a man with a neck tattoo. Said before Cody left, he couldn't beat me. But now Cody's ego is out of control. He has more pyro than the 4th of July. He says, you don't see me bragging about how season 3 of Miz and Mrs. is coming up in 3 weeks. He says, I'm like the Kim Kardashian of WWE. People want to know what I'm doing and when I'm doing it, and they'll wait all night to see it, making reference to the Cody countdown. Mm-hmm. He says, and I'm going to take Cody down a peg or two.
You know, to Miz's credit, he is the one person that, like, because Lacey was in the living room watching this with me this morning. She said, is that Miz? And I said, yes. And then she just put her head back down. So, so when she recognizes someone, she likes to let me know that she knows what the hell's going on. So
Yeah.
he is the one person that she like recognized enough.
All right.
So he is, his Q score is probably pretty high.
The WWE's #1 mainstream crossover star.
Seemingly.
Miz?
Yeah, I think he's got a good point there. And then I got embarrassed because she was there and the King's Court came on.
This
and
was so bad. This was so pointless.
This was pointless. Although, shout out to Jerry Lawler for like lobotomizing himself or doing whatever it takes to be boring and not like offensive anymore because he comes out there. So he introduces Veer. And it's like, dude, last week on NXT, the horniest show on TV, I fell in love with my new favorite character, Chill Sangha, who used to, it was him and Veer in Indus-Share, right?
I believe so.
Wasn't it? Yeah, I think it was them. Anyways, and he came off like, I won't say a gentle giant, but a chill giant, like, hey, I can be chill because I can beat anybody here because I'm massive. And I feel like that should be Veer's thing. Like, wasn't it his voice in those vignettes that we got? And it was very like elegant and like well-spoken, and it sounded like kind of menacing. It was like, oh man, this guy is going to be like, he's going to be a normal human being, but he's going to be brutal in the ring. Yeah. Instead, they have him doing this, I'm going to beat Rey Mysterio and Dom. They thought that the typical 80s pro wrestling stuff.
I know.
And it's so overdone. So Lawler tries to ask him questions. Veer just stares at him. This happens several times. And then he says, Veer finally grabs the mic from him after Lawler makes a bunch of bad hair jokes. He says, I'm not here to joke around. Ray's a legend, but he's too busy worrying about his little boy. And that made him weak. And he took both of them out. Or I took both of them out. And then he looks at Lawler and he like sniffs him. And he says, I smell fear on you. And he says, I think it's just my cheap cologne. And then Veer says, enough with the jokes. Instead of explaining to you who I am, why not just show you? He's about to whoop Lawler's ass. And then Booyaka 619, Dom and Ray come out. And then they just keep on like drop kicking him off the apron. And then, Veer keeps on getting back up. And then he gets drop kicked again. And, he keeps on getting back up. He doesn't stop. Yeah. And then Mysterio's telling him to get in the ring and he just doesn't.
No.
So I don't know, man. Veer has a great look. He sticks to the easy stuff in the ring, the clothesline and the clutch, which is all you need if you're like a bad guy. But like, let's get some dimension to the character. Man.
I know.
Chill Veer. That's what I want.
Yeah. So we got Alexa Bliss interview next. Says it's great to be back on Raw. I'm feeling like myself, trying to stay out of trouble. She's asked about Sonya Deville's recent run of bad luck. She says Sonya's had a rough couple weeks. She got fired. She lost to me twice, and then she gets fined for attacking a ref. Says maybe she should look into getting therapy. She says as for tonight, she's facing Nikki ASH. They used to be best friends, but they parted ways. But it's probably for the best because now I get to be best friends with the doll. And Nikki dresses like a superhero. She just goes, it's great being back. And then she has her match against Nikki ASH.
Yeah. So that match happens. Alexa Bliss ends up winning. I don't want to dive too much into the Alexa Bliss stuff because I'd like to think that there could be some sort of story there with her needing the doll as sort of like, an emotional therapy doll thing. And that keeps her evil side in check. But I just get the feeling that it's like they just don't know what they want to do. And there's no creative.
She has a doll because it sells.
Because it sells, and like they don't really have anything else for her, but they know that she's a draw. Yeah. But I think if they wanted to pull the trigger on a story, all the elements are kind of there.
Yeah, I think so too. They just don't know what that story is.
And maybe we'll get that. Maybe if somebody messes with the doll again, we'll see a little bit of that. But I don't know. I'd like them to do something with her though, because I like Alexa Bliss.
Yeah, I think she's pretty good.
Shout out to all the Alexa Bliss weird stands in the YouTube comments now. After that, we had a Seth Rollins interview, and he's just bitter that it used to be about him, and now it's about Cody. He says they used to sing my song every night in every city, and now all I hear is Cody chants, and it makes me physically ill to hear that name. He says, Cody this, Cody that, here and there. He says, there's even a countdown clock for Cody. Where does it stop? Where's the countdown clock for Seth Rollins? He says, there's a countdown clock in my head, and it's ticking away second by second. The question is, what happens when the clock strikes zero?
Then he laughs. Then we get an Asuka video package followed by an Asuka interview. She says last week Becky wasn't ready for Asuka. She was too busy crying. She cried and got another match tonight, but she will beat Becky again and turn Becky into big time baby.
My favorite thing right now is Asuka's impersonation of Becky as a baby.
Mm-hmm.
She's a baby. That makes me laugh.
That's pretty funny.
After that, we had Cody Rhodes versus The Miz. You had mentioned this before, I think during the pre-show. People were really dogging on this match. Maybe I wasn't paying close enough attention to it. I just thought it was like a normal pro wrestling match.
There was the only thing I noticed is that when Cody tried to do the Cody cutter, it seemed like he didn't get as much spring off the rope as he normally would. So
okay.
it was a little flat. That's the only thing I really noticed.
Okay. I mean, look, honestly, we didn't even really talk about like big picture Raw. There was nothing spectacular. In fact, there was quite a bit of spinning the wheels last night.
Yeah.
That being said, because Raw's been kind of decent as of late, this is the first time they've spun wheels in at least a couple, like maybe a month or two. Mm-hmm. So like I was kind of okay with it because I like a bunch of the stories. So of course this again, was sort of a copy and paste situation where Seth. So what is it? Cody hits the Cody cutter, locks on a figure 4. Miz gets to the bottom rope. He rolls out of the ring. Cody goes up top, but then Seth runs out, pushes him off the rope. Bing, bing, bing. DQ. Cody wins. Seth attacks. Cody fights back. Miz joins in on the attack. And then Seth really goes after the knee, throws him into the ring steps. That's when Cody really sells that knee. So Seth's damage is done. Cody starts limping away, and they're like, "Oh my God, he can't put any pressure on that leg. What's he gonna do?" And as he's leaving, he hands his belt, like he always does, to a little kid sitting there in the front row.
Early on, when he was making his entrance, he handed the belt to the kid.
Oh yeah, okay.
Seth did the beatdown. He went over to the kid, took the belt from him, and hit Cody with it.
Oh, okay,
and left
that's
it with
what
Cody.
it was.
And then Cody, as he was making his way back up the ramp, gave that same kid the belt back.
All right, during this particular segment, I watched this part this morning, and I had a plate of eggs, so it was probably
to your credit, you're eating breakfast.
To my credit, I was eating my breakfast. It was a disjointed way of watching things via replays and live action. So,
well, again, to your credit.
To my credit, I got it wrong.
Okay.
Yeah. After that, we had Ezekiel versus Chad Gable. Once again, sort of copy and paste from like last week.
Yeah.
But this was really funny stuff because all the players are really good at it. So we had Owens at ringside this time. I mean, he was sitting there, but he wasn't on commentary, but he was like yelling at commentary.
You could hear
the
him.
entire
You could hear
time.
basically everything he was saying.
Yeah, Otis was ringside. So at one point, Otis trips up Zeke as he's running the ropes. And of course, that distracts Zeke over to Otis. Gable gets a chop block, which I'm pretty sure has happened the last 3 weeks in a row. Works
like
over.
half the matches last night featured a chop block in some form. That's like top move now in WWE's chop block.
Yeah, right. So anyways, Gable goes up for a moonsault. Zeke gets his feet up, hits a spine buster, a corner splash, and then Otis hits him with a lariat while the ref has his back turned. The ref turns around and he looks at Ezekiel, looks up at Otis. He's on the apron. He's just laid him out. He's like, all right, well, this is happening now. You're out of here. And so Otis like, oh. So Otis gets down to leave. While the ref is dealing with that, Kevin Owens sneaks into the ring and the ref turns and sees him. So it's just this really wonderful, pratfall comedy of errors type thing where Owens is in the ring and then the ref sees him. They job back and forth. And that Jack Daddy ref does a particularly good job of throwing people out. I think he might be the top thrower outer guy.
Might be.
And he does a thing, throws out Kevin Owens. He freaks out. He goes and he starts yelling at Otis about it being his fault. And then Zeke is able to get the roll up, the backwoods win on Gable. Rolls out of the ring before they're able to attack him and escapes through the crowd because Kevin Owens and Otis are gunning towards him. Owens grabs the mic when Ezekiel's still in the crowd. Says, I'm done with this. I don't care what he calls himself. Elias, Ezekiel, Giuseppe. I just want to beat the hell out of you. So he challenges him to a match at Hell in a Cell.
Yep. Then we get Cody exiting the trainer's room. He limps up for an interview with Kevin Patrick. He says, yeah, my knee got a little dinged up, but I can put some weight on it, and that's fortunate for me, but that's also unfortunate for Seth. He says, I still have my heart. I still have my lungs. He says, last week I talked about second chances, and it's dawning on Seth now that he can go 0-3 against me. Well, if Seth wants to finish the job at Hell in the Cell, I'll be there waiting.
Seth is totally going 0-3 against Cody, by the way.
Yep.
That's happening. That's kind of crazy if you think about it, but yeah. Seth will get a big push after that, though.
Yeah, I'm sure he will.
After that, we had Bobby Lashley versus MVP. So early on, MVP's in the ring and Bobby Lashley's trying to get in because MVP does the thing where he runs out of the ring. Bobby chases him. He gets back in and he tries to stomp at Bobby as he gets in, but Bobby backs up. So he stomps and then he's like, oh, my leg. I just messed it up. The ref checks on him. Meanwhile, Amos comes over, clotheslines Lashley. So that gets MVP the upper hand here. And then we've got some shit goes down on the floor. Lashley gets rammed into the ring post. Lashley puts MVP back in the ring. Amos takes a swing at Lashley. Bobby ducks, lays out Amos, throws him over the timekeeper area, but he gets counted out in the process, so MVP wins.
Mm-hmm.
And then we find out what the stipulation is a little bit later.
Yep. Then we get Asuka versus Becky Lynch in the main event.
Well, sorry, I should just mention the stipulation.
Yeah.
It's a handicap match.
Handicap match. It's
Yeah.
MVP and Amos.
Yeah.
Asuka versus Becky Lynch is our main event. Bianca comes out to watch the match ringside. I mean, I'm not going to complain about Asuka and Becky Lynch having more matches because they got great chemistry.
They do.
I would, I wonder if it would have made more sense, or at least a different approach that could have maybe made the storyline a bit more interesting. Is if you have Bianca and Asuka at Hell in a Cell happen.
Mm-hmm.
Becky gets involved not to cause a DQ, but to cause Asuka to lose.
Mm-hmm.
Therefore, Asuka wants a piece of Becky. Bianca could be upset that Becky interjected herself in that match again. That can motivate a match at Money in the Bank, a triple threat between the three of them. And then if you want the 1 year after Becky versus Bianca, if you want another singles match between Becky and Bianca, you can do that at SummerSlam. Like, you could pace that out and it would make sense. Instead of this just feels like, well, we kind of had to quickly book the main event last week. We had Asuka go over, but really we want Becky to be in the title match at Hell in a Cell. So we'll just kind of undo what we did last week and do this instead.
Yeah, I don't know. Book it on the fly. It's easy to sort of, not easy, to our credit, it's easy to say, hey, you guys did this wrong. But they had to do this shit on the fly, so
I understand that. But at the same time, I mean, you got a really good match right there. You just booked Asuka versus Bianca. Great match.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Really want to see that.
Yeah. Oh yeah, but I'm okay putting somebody else in and make it even better.
Oh, I am too. But do
Daniel Bryan used to do that all the time.
Do it at Money in the Bank.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Bang.
Boom.
Done.
Still
do it. Anyways, we kind of went over the finish of this match already.
Yeah.
Earlier on, Becky goes over. Yeah, it was a mess. Becky goes over. Hell in a Cell Raw Women's title match is now a triple threat.
Yup. Let's go ahead and answer some questions. I have a question thread right here on the Patreon at patreon.com/Steve. Can't make the show live? You can ask a question on the Patreon. Let's see here. Alex Foster says, instead of making Judgment Day better, how would you make it worse?
Wow. I guess you'd have him talk longer, say less.
More talking.
With less substance.
Yeah. Yeah. Even, more low-hanging fruit.
Like everything they talk about is the city sports teams. Everything.
So they added the to Judgment Day. Add an S to days.
The Judgment Days.
Judgment Day. A Z. The Judgment Days.
All right.
That one blew your mind, didn't it?
Yeah. I didn't know it was 1997 anymore.
Yeah, dude. The Judgment Days.
So to recap, more talking.
Yeah.
Less substance.
True.
More talking trash about local sports teams.
Correct.
Adding a Z to days.
That's the most important one. I feel like the Z.
Yeah.
Let's see. And then you bring back Drama King Matt to sing when they come out. The Judgment Days.
Good.
That actually might make it better. What, David Matushek, what storyline in WWE do you think has a stable that has too many one-sided victories? Well, the Bloodline. I mean, they're all.
Yeah.
That's kind of all they do. But I don't know if it's too many because I like the Bloodline and I think the story they're telling is great. They're the best.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Fear and Loathing says, Cody has said numerous times he has the most unique contract ever. What % would you give that he's allowed to bleed once a year? No. Mm-mm. I feel like Vince would say no to that.
Yeah, I don't think that's a thing. And on top of that, I think, it's like Cody wants to he wants to get out of this he wants to have in the contract, like, he could just bleed. He's savvy enough to be like,
if he's willing to potentially pay a fine. Yeah, sure.
And it's like, oh, that was Hardway. No, it wasn't. It was. There was no, and he knows how to bleed.
Cody, show me your blade. God damn it. Well, then Cody would say, Vince, to my credit.
To my credit.
It's kind of my thing.
It's kind of my thing. Oh, man. Brendan Monroe, what do you think would be the optimal time to split up RK-Bro, and how would you do it? I'll be honest, never. I don't want to see them split up. I think I'm more emotionally committed to RK-Bro than I was Undisputed Era.
You know what they could do is have them split like they may have done last night. Doesn't mean they have to feud.
Right.
Maybe their paths meet at some point and they go their separate ways without having to fight.
You know what I'd be totally cool with? Being split up via brand draft. From the draft. Because then they part on good terms. And then when they meet up again, it's like, oh, cool. And then like 5 years from now, maybe for Orton's retirement stuff, they do a feud.
Mm-hmm. It's possible. King CTM, there are rumors about Finn potentially joining Judgment Day. Finn seems more like a leader than a follower. If he were to join, when would you have him usurp Edge? Oh, immediately.
Oh, immediately, yeah.
Immediately.
Wholesale changes. No more long promos. Priest. Trunks. Let's see it.
There we go.
See what? You know what I mean. All of it. Now, please. Gregory Fiala. How happy were you guys that Sammy walked out in the Bloodline shirt with the Usos? Oh, he's been wearing that Bloodline shirt for a while.
They need to do the full entrance with Roman with Sammy. Sammy's got to hold up the 1-2.
I know. I would mark out so hardcore.
And then Roman's got to shoot him a glance, and then he quickly puts it down. That's what they got to do.
That would be amazing. That would be amazing. Let's see here. War Machine MJ. If the Bloodline decides to go after the U.S. and IC titles, who do they hire outside of the family? How amazing would it be if Sammy got that IC title and that was what he contributed to that would be so great.
Well, you call up Solo Sikoa.
Well, I was going to, he says outside the family though.
Oh.
So Sammy would be good. And then the U.S., who has the U.S. The Theory? Where's he been?
Yeah, he was on TV this week. What if after this Cody thing, Seth is just so lost?
That's
just completely lost that he wants to come back to something familiar. So he goes to Roman with the U.S. title and says,
"I like
we're brothers.
We're
brothers."
That. White Brownie says Von Wagner. Who was who was Von Wagner with that one time?
You gotta be more specific, man.
Sorry. I remember he showed up on SmackDown that one time.
Oh, with Adam Pearce.
Was it just with Adam Pearce?
He was Pearce's heavy.
Oh, man, that's great. Von Wagner.
Well, today is Come Tuesday. Happy Come Tuesday.
Happy Come Tuesday, everybody. Let's see here.
Patrick Oliva, Seth loses for a third time. Is there a story you can see in Seth winning Money in the Bank? Absolutely, especially if Cody somehow ends up beating Roman for that belt.
Ooh. Dwayne Nix, longtime friendo, Dwayne.
Mm-hmm.
Is Cody Rhodes the best promo in wrestling right now? He's one of them. Oh yeah, he is one of them.
I give the nod to Eddie Kingston.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm talking about WWE.
Oh,
who's best in WWE? Who's best in WWE?
I mean, I find Roman's character more interesting.
Yeah, same.
So I'd say Roman.
There's a lot of good promos out there.
Yeah,
but
Seth
Cody
is a good promo. Kevin Owens is a great promo.
Cody still, hey man, he gets that crowd going though.
He does. There's still times where Cody just says a bunch of stuff, and I'm like, what point is he getting across here?
Oh, that he has a thesaurus.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the point he's making. He's got a word of the day calendar.
He does. To his credit, he has a word of the day calendar.
To his credit, he got one of those. Anyways, to our credit, that's the end of the show. Thanks everybody for tuning in. We appreciate it. And until Overrun in about, I don't know, was it 2 hours?
2 hours or so. Yeah,
about 2:30 Pacific. We're gonna be talking about some AW.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching, everybody. Till next time, we'll talk to you later.
Goodbye.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Stone Cold Steve Austin impersonator Phil McDonald here to tell you to go support Going In Raw and Friendo Club at patreon.com/Steven Larson. They got bonus episodes, ad-free audio, a weekly newsletter rounding up the weekend wrestling news, and a bunch more. Patreon.com/Steven Larson. Go support or get hit with a stunner.